Conversations with Kenny. It's your boy GT, the guitar man. Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Conversations with Kenny. Today on the show, we'll be talking business, doing business in Nigeria. And I have with me my wonderful friends, Mr. Mabadeje, Abiodun of the Edge Publishing Ventures. And I have Tobi King, he's a realtor and the CEO of Buy Lekki Now. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, so how has it been? Let me start from Mr. Mabadeje. How has it been doing business? I know you've been doing business for how many decades now?
If you look at the publishing, it's been, I started publishing as far back as 2003. Okay. Yeah, that was when I first did my own book. And then in terms of self-publication, I've done about 8 books. I've gone ahead to publish for several other people. So it's been good, generally.
Generally, it's been good.
Generally.
Okay, let's get to Mr. Omawale. How has it been for you?
Yeah, business has been awesome for me. In our first 12 months, we actually launched 12 estates. So we developed 12 estates in 12 months. It's been awesome. I think doing business in Nigeria is actually good because our population today stands at 223 million people. Okay. And it tells you that Nigeria is actually the 6th biggest market in the world, the largest market in Africa. So business is good here. Okay. Then also, looking at inflation rate today stands at about 24.7%. A lot of people say it's a bad thing, but for entrepreneurs, especially for me in the real estate industry, do you know when inflation goes up, price of real estate goes up? So it favors me. Yeah, and everywhere all over the world, entrepreneurs are opportunists.
Yes, I want to stay on that. Entrepreneurs are opportunists. So what does that really mean?
Yeah, so basically, entrepreneurs look for what every other person sees as a challenge. They look at the bright side of it. So while everybody's shouting, oh, there's a challenge here, the entrepreneur looks at how can I leverage on this challenge and make money from it.
Okay, beautiful. But some people see entrepreneurs as people who are manipulative. Like they just take advantage of people and they just pay people stipends. And what are your thoughts on that? Do you agree with that?
You see, that thought is, for me, it's neither here nor there. And the reason I say that is this. An entrepreneur, he wants to get the most done at the cheapest price possible. So if he has somebody who can get the job done for 30,000 naira, why should he pay someone who wants to collect or charge him 50,000 naira?
Yeah.
So that's why he's an entrepreneur, to get the job done at the cheapest possible price.
Okay.
So in that sense, you won't say he's an opportunist. It is the opportunity to make money. That is why he's an entrepreneur.
Okay, so let's talk about the government policies right now. The state of the nation, government policies isn't favoring those, even the persons who, the person who goes to work, who is a career person, who is an employee in an organization. The policies, everybody else, they collect basketballs, people they see shaggy. So what do you think can be done, Mr. Tobi?
Okay, so basically, in the first place, the policies that are favorable to one man could be favorable to the other man. Now, looking at the forex, Naira has been devalued in recent times greatly, and it has actually made minimum wage to be very, very cheap in Nigeria. Yeah. So for a lot of workers, they are being underpaid. But for entrepreneurs, it has actually made the cost of labor to be very, very cheap. So I think a lot of people have to look at the things they can control. A lot of people can control the government policies. But how can you make this not so favorable government policy favor you?
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're in the country, you should be thinking about exporting goods and services out of the country right now. Because whenever you devalue, it actually favors whoever is exporting.
True.
So there are countries that are happy that their currency is actually very cheap, because it actually gives them a chance at the international market to sell for a great profit. So I think people should actually think differently rather than wanting to change the government policy they don't have any control over.
Okay, so if you were to advise somebody fresh out of school who wants to venture into business with the realities on ground in Nigeria, what would be your advice?
Well, I said earlier that doing business or while we're talking before the show started, I said that there are businesses that you look at and you know that no matter what the economy is saying, no matter what the realities on ground are, people will need those services, or as the case may be, those products. For example, somebody like him in the real estate sector, whether you like it or not, people will buy land, people will build house, people will rent house, you know. So if somebody is in that sector, I mean, you know you have business. So if you are a fresh graduate and you are thinking of what business, now you may not have the money to establish the business, but in what way can you do a one leg in approach? Become a marketer. You know,
when you say become a marketer, what do you mean?
Yes, approach real estate companies and become a freelance marketer. You know, sell their products, house, land, and you earn commissions. And then from the commissions, of course, you can later on scale up and start your own. That may not be within the next 1 year. Maybe you may have to plan for it, maybe 3-5 years and all of that. If you have that as a target, that's what you want to do. But that is one way, at least you can start. Now, that is real estate. Another area that people can think of is food business. Whether you like it or not, people will eat. Whether you have money or not, at least you will eat once a day.
Sure.
So that's another area that people can think of. Okay, I want to start business. You can think, but somebody wants to start a publishing business, for example. You have to be sure you really want to do it, because one, people are not printing, and printing is a major part of what publishing is.
Yes.
And then, so if you are not going to be printing books because materials are so expensive, then how are you going to, what can you do to take advantage of the digital space? Because if you master that area very well too, then you can do well with publishing. But of course, I would advise generally that you look at things that people need. It's a necessity first.
Things that people need.
Yes, things that are necessities.
Awesome. Let's talk about challenges now. I want to get a bit personal. What would you regard as your biggest business challenge?
All right, so my greatest challenge.
And how did you overcome it? So I'm not talking about what you're going through right now.
Yeah. All right, so my greatest challenge came just the second month we started the business, where a government official came into the office and told us that we've been running the business for 3 years, and he gave me a document that actually contains what we're owing the government. So as at then, he said we're owing 6 million. So according to them, they cooked up some figures. They said based on industrial average. So they said, oh, our revenue was actually calculated based on industrial average.
How do you know your revenue?
Yeah, industrial average. So they feel, real estate is, to a lot of them, is a very lucrative business. Unknown to them, a lot of real estate business are actually collapsing. So they calculate the industrial average, then calculate our tax for the 3 years, and it was 6 million. So imagine you pulling out 6 million from a 2-month-old business. You're going to kill that business. So already that was a great challenge, because he was even telling me, oh, they will come after us and close up the office. So I had to hire a tax consultant who actually went after them and engaged them back and forth, and we were able to resolve the challenge. But for me, it was very unfortunate that within you expected a 2-month-old company to pay 6 million tax when they've not even broken even yet.
That's what I said about the government policies. So government's going to they just see most of those companies as, cash cows that they want to leverage on to get money. Because if you are creating the right conducive environment for businesses to thrive, you'll be concerned about
whether they are making profit or not, whether the business is doing well or not.
Yeah. Exactly. So we've got a short break. When we come back from the break, the conversation continues. Stay with us.
What does success mean to you? To a singer, success is about selling out a concert and having hit songs. To a filmmaker, success is about fans raving about his or her blockbuster movie. To an entrepreneur, success is about converting prospects into lifelong customers. For us at Visibility Solutions Media, our success is when we help you successfully tell your story and win in the marketplace. We produce videos that matter, media campaigns that sell, content that puts your brand in the spotlight. In short, we are the one your brand needs today and forever. Visit us at vsmpr.com or call 0805 468 0266.
Welcome back from the break. This is still Conversations with Kenny. I see you with me here in the studio, Mabadeje, Abiodun, and Tobi King by Lekki now. Why did you choose that name?
Yeah, so it favors SEO. So let's buy this Lekki. So if you want to buy a property in Lekki, like I want to buy a property in Lekki, the keywords buying Lekki's in your search queries. And so my chances of popping up is very good.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
just SEO.
Good for online presence and
search
all.
engine optimization. Yeah.
Beautiful. Let's talk about the lessons now. Now, you guys spoke about the blessings, success story and all. Let's talk about a bit of that. And he spoke about the challenge. Let's talk about your own challenge. What would be your most challenging moment in business?
When I started, I remember I started as a student.
Yeah.
I remember I was looking for money. Okay, I want to go into publishing, and then Sweden, small, medium,
Yes.
and there was so much noise around about Sweden at that time. Oh, you want to do business? Come and collect money and all.
Yes.
So I remember as a student, I was going around banks looking for information. So I cannot take advantage of this. And I remember I went to Marina. I will not mention the name of the bank. I entered and I made the inquiry, and then I was directed to meet a particular man. And then when I met him, he gave me a leaflet. He said I should read it. After reading it, he now sat back. He said something to me. He said, "Young man, I like your courage, but let me not deceive you. No bank in Nigeria will give you money." Yeah, and that was what he said. And so as a startup at that time, money was the challenge. I was a student, but I knew I wanted to do this. So money was the challenge. But how did I overcome it? At least for my first publication, thank God for goodwill. Thank God for people. In accounting, goodwill is actually regarded as an asset.
Yeah.
So thank God for goodwill.
Yeah.
I leveraged on goodwill, and there were people, okay, we know who you are, we know what you stand for, take. And then that was how I started. So money, yes, was a challenge at that time.
Okay, money was a challenge.
And not that it is no longer a challenge in some ways. So let's not get it twisted.
What do you think about? Okay, so you said money, this money issue. Is money still a challenge? Because they don't say, I'm going to find money for you.
Yeah,
is money still a challenge for you?
For me, yes, money would actually make me upskill better. But however, I think idea is actually a challenge for a lot of young persons out there. They lack the required idea they need. And also, a lot of people dwell on the mindset that they have to have good grades, go out there and get a job. I think a lot of people have to shift from that mindset of getting good grades to get a good job to getting good grades to start a good business. Currently, our unemployment rate stands over 30%. So it tells you about 1/3 of our labor force is unemployed. So we would create jobs for these people.
And the employment rate keeps increasing.
It keeps increasing. Yeah. Now, the youth unemployment rate is even way higher. So it tells you a lot of young persons finish from school and they're just on the streets doing nothing.
Okay.
So they're now dependent on the other 50% who are doing something, becoming a burden to them.
Okay, so talking about becoming a burden, there's this belief that young Nigerians, one of our ex-president actually said it. I don't know if he said it as a joke, but I think young Nigerians on X, picked it up and he said young Nigerians are lazy. Do you agree with that statement?
I personally think it is an act of wickedness for anyone to think that Nigerian youths are lazy. It is wickedness to sit down and think and say that Nigerian youths are lazy. Nigerian youths are not lazy. No.
Why do you think that? But there are some Nigerian youths that are lazy.
His statement was a blanket statement. Nigerian youths are lazy. But you say now, there are some Nigerian youths that are lazy. So if he had said some Nigerian youths are lazy, maybe he would have accepted that statement. But to come out and just make a blanket statement and say Nigerian youths are lazy, no, that is not true.
Okay, what would be your final advice as we round up the show to young Nigerians? Say, just give us one shot and...
Yeah, so Nigeria is actually a good place to do business. I would tell Nigerians to think entrepreneurship and let go of looking for leverage, white collar jobs. There's a lot of opportunities out there for people to make money, good money, millions and billions, only if they don't see the bad side. They see the good side of every challenge we have in the country.
Great. Give us one of your, like you said, one of your rhymes.
Okay.
Let's end with that.
A simple one I will give. God gave you ability so that you will not be a liability.
Yes, God gave you ability so that you won't become a liability. Let me add my own to your society. Thank you for joining us on this edition of the show. God bless you. Keep living your dreams.
Conversations with Kenny. It's your boy GT, the guitar man. Yeah.